guys would like to get paid. So, Wolf Hockfield, fresh off of losing the captaincy of Canada's Tag Team Championship. Maybe a little bit of extra money will soothe the savage beast there. And his partner says, me too. I also suffered the calamity of losing the titles. Give me some more compensatory pay raise. Speaking of things not going so well, and maybe money's the solution, KO, nothing but calamity in recent times. And the bear, Terrible Ted, of course. I imagine the budget to keep the wrestling bear fed with honey-covered salmon. Imagine that whole operation's not cheap to keep him sustained. And his partner, Jason the Terrible, is also like, yeah, I'm the other half of the most dominant tag team this promotion has ever seen. How about some money my way as well? Big Man Complex Type B, Owen Miller. Why not? How are the D's concerning trust? So improved from January's main event, Iron Mike Sharp. As you can see, lower right of profile, trust has improved to C. He's the only one from the main event to actually improve. Still in the D range. You can just take a quick inventory of who remains. Lionheart. He has yet to progress to C, hopefully. He shall, because he's got a popularity S, as you can see on the right side there, so we wouldn't want him to go away. Vampiro also popularity S, but as we've talked about, he's, don't count on him staying. So I don't know if his trust can improve from D. Seems like that's not in the cards. And lastly, from Team Canada Red, Edge has a D as well. So those are the three guys that we're keeping an eye on / a little worried about. And I'm wondering, should I want to offer pay increases to all of my D trusts? Just to further incentivize them to grow out of D. Now, I have found that guys will improve naturally if they're treated reasonably well, like give them title matches, things like that. I don't know if paying these guys will improve the trust. I mean, we're not hurting for money. I could stand to give pay increases to these guys. So I'm not hurting for money, but I would be hurting if any of these three guys walked out. I don't know. Because in my history of playing this game, pay increases don't necessarily equate to improved trust. I mean, you probably want to give pay increases when guys ask for it, and you do that as a means of staving off trust decreasing. But in my experience, paying them doesn't necessarily improve it. So I don't know. Write in the comments if you have an opinion. Should I give these guys pay raises just to try to play it safe and maybe hopefully that'll help their trust? Or should I say, you know what? People stay here because they want to, and my role is to give you opportunities to be great. And maybe your part is you need to show me that I can trust you and can put titles on you. So, yeah, I think I'll hold off for now, just in case anyone has an opinion whether I should give voluntary pay increases to guys who don't ask for it. For the time being, I will pay guys who did ask for it. So, Team Terrible, Jason and the Bear. They each asked for raises, so they have S Trust, so I can get away with giving them the minimum raise just to keep them from decreasing. I don't need the trust to improve. So, Jason. And the Wrestling Bear. Between they still make under $1,000 a month each, which is criminal. I realize that. But that's the game. So another team from the original 6, Wolf Omega, Team Canada Blue. So they're making a little over 1,000. Again, S Trust, can't improve it, minimum raises. And finally, one more team looking to get paid, Team Owen. I've called them Owens in the past, but what these two guys have in common is Owen without the S. Like KO has got Owens, but Owen Miller doesn't have the S. So it seems erroneous to call them Owens, even though there's two Owen and Owens. It's a little confusing, perhaps. The point is, they're getting paid. Whether you call them Owens for it being plural or Owen because that's the only 4 letters they strictly have in common. Start with KO. Trust B. So because he's got room to improve, it would be awfully cheap just to give him the minimum raise. So I figure if he's got a B trust, I'll give him the B level raise. B or 2, level 2 raise. So KO can now be making over $4,000 a month. So should be happy about that. And his Owens partner, he's got S Trust. He's always been happy to be part of this. So we can get the minimum raise, about $2,500 a month for Type B. All right. So those were the need to be paid. So speaking of teams, new champion, Team Satan's tag title history. And we saved this for later in the intro, but we're doing it now. We've had 10 Canada's tag team champions to this point. So, Team Satan's tag title history begins, oddly enough, with Wolf Hockfield becoming Canada's heavyweight champion at the first tournament, episode 7. And Wolf's partner, Kenny, as a result, needed a new partner to continue the rivalry with Team Terrible, and he tagged with Deathblow Ken to upset Team Terrible for the tag titles, but dropped the belts immediately to Team Satan. fittingly on Halloween, who in turn lost them to Team Terrible. And then the Terrible team went on to have a 7 defense reign. So interveningly, Team Satan had 2 reigns as Dramatic Fight Wrestling Tag Champions, losing the belts both times to Bret Hart Sharpshooter Syndicate Variations. That time was tagged with blue hair. And then the second time Team Satan lost to the Hitman, it was with the Canadian Sensation, and that is the current combination that holds these belts. And now, go back. Following victory over another Kenny team, this time the Wolf Omega Edition, Team Satan will again have to face the challenge of Team Terrible to hold on to Canada's Tag Team Championship. So, one more small matter of business then before we get to that and what other matches. Management Training Center. Notice our ring doctor is down to normal condition, so always a good idea to keep this topped up. $3,000 to make sure our ring doctor is feeling well paid and well supplied with whatever he needs to keep our dudes healthy. Physical examination to determine possible risk of injury. Increases stamina recovery speed, so worth doing. I think we can get to the matches now. February matches. Decided the result of January's #1 contenders match should be the winner should face Big Titan for the top title in the promotion. Runner-up goes to the DFW division to challenge Baron Charles. So with that in mind, I believe 2 never-before-seen singles matches, at least for titles. Match 1. Strongheart will challenge the Baron Charles for Dramatic Fight Wrestling's Heavyweight Championship, which will be followed by Blue Hair will challenge Big Titan, the King of Canada, for Canada's Heavyweight Championship. Meanwhile, for the new #1 contender spot, the $50,000 man, Ted Axel, will face the Midnight Knight, Warren Watson, who I mentioned was going to be the odd man out now that his Team Satan teammates won Canada's Tag Team Championship. and we'll be defending that. So, the $50,000 man versus Midnight Knight. Yeah. In a pretty boy battle between, how shall we say, sexually marketable, handsome men, just in time for Valentine's Day, February, in which male viewers will gnash their teeth in frustration over being less attractive, while female viewers go crazy, preparing to throw themselves at the winner. And probably at the vanquished as well, let's be real. Meanwhile, the wise man's $90,000 tag team partner, the Blue Blazer, despite being a superhero, is only human as well and is subject to poor conditions, so he'll be sitting out. So that covers the one-on-ones. And we progress to the two-on-twos. 4. Dramatic Fight Wrestling Tag Team Championship. Team Best Friend, KO Kevin, and the Lionheart will again challenge the two members of Sharpshooter Syndicate, hailing from Canada, the Hitman, the Canadian sensation. So yeah, these two teams faced each other in January, and I think I made it pretty clear this rivalry's not over, maybe even far from over, especially with the match evaluation of 98%. I'm pretty sure it was top. If we had 100, I probably would have remembered it. So I think this is a match fans want to see. I want to see. Match 5. Speaking of rematches, from January, we will again see the Junior Tag Team Championship being challenged for by Mexico Miguel and Big Man Complex, facing the only junior champions at the tag level that we've had so far, Christian, and unified champion, the irredeemable Shota. Last of the title matches will be for Canada's Tag Team Championship. Already mentioned it in the intro. Team Satan, they're going to get thrown straight into the fire, straight into the hellfire. First title defense of these newly acquired championship. Immediately in there against Team Terrible, whom after dropping the belts, won impressively to put themselves, vault themselves right back into the #1 contendership. They're undeniable. It's just a matter of time. If you're going to dare to call yourself tag team champions, or at least dare to call yourself the best, we have more than one tag champions. If you're going to call yourself the best team walking around in wrestling today, sooner or later you have to pay the piper, or in this case, pay the bear, as Team Terrible comes after what you got. So thus concludes the 2-on-2s. Finally, the 3-on-3 main event. Match 7 for the 6-Tag Championship. Held by Wolf, Omega, Big Mike. 3-man edition of Team Canada Blue. And they'll defend against Team Canada Black. This is the first ever version of that name, I believe. Vampiro, Iron Mike Sharp, Edge. And Edge, of course, is normally part of the Canada Red stable. But you can see in the bottom left there, he's got an alternate uniform where he can go all black and can fit neatly into this team. So, black versus blue for the 6 tag titles, in which 2 guys with D Trust, are given 2 reasons to improve to C Trust. So along the left-hand edge there, yeah, Vampiro and Edge. As we mentioned earlier, still are in the D Trust range, which is a threat to walk out on us, or at least make trouble and ask for preferential treatment. So neither of which is ideal. So they'll be giving those 2 guys 2 reasons to improve to Trust C, Trust Level C. 1, they're being given a title match. Chance to feel important. And number 2, it's the main event. So, not sure I can do much more to incentivize loyalty. Although, with the caveat, this is another case of not a real title match. As I wait on Vampiro to show me that he's here to stay before I let any more belts go around his midsection. So the match will probably not make air as the challengers basically lay down and the champs pick up an easy title defense, which is not fair, I realize, to Edge and Iron Mike, but the internal politics be what they are. So that's the main event, as anticlimactic as it will probably prove to be. But we get that sometimes. Venue. We're back at the American Rural, 30,000 capacity, and we're just about jamming the place. Too much grandeur in this event to be contained in the smaller 15,000 venue. And so we should see better merchandise sales. We got plenty of merchandise right now. I'm not going to bother checking it. There's nothing to change. So trust me, we got stuff we're going to sell. And that's it. We are ready to get wrestling. Expenses in the top right, 3 1/3, 100,000. I think reasonable by today's standards. February of year 4. Oh, and our attendance topped out. We were projecting very high 29,000s. We got even more than we anticipated. Full house to rock the place on Valentine's Day. Match 1 for Dramatic Fight Wrestling's Heavyweight Championship. Strongheart challenges the Baron Charles, your People's Champion, making his first attempt to win this championship. Strongheart has made 2 attempts at Canada's Heavyweight Championship against Big Titan. Can he get things done on 3rd time's the charm grounds in the DFW division. But if he is to do it, it would be at the expense of his countrymen, his fellow Japanese, who doesn't just have Japanese fans rooting for him. There are millions and millions for DFW's heavyweight champion, the Baron Charles. Begins with a boot, doesn't land. Double arm suplex. Countered with the backdrop. The champ is out of the ring. But he's back. And the referee, taken out early, bloodied, took half a minute. Mishap on the Irish whip. Chance to cheat if you want. The referee to stop it. Okay, well this is taking advantage of the ref being down. Because the ref wouldn't be able to. Oh no, it wasn't any cheating. Sorry. I feel in my mind that there was something wrong going on because I was hoping that someone would seize the day and cheat while they could, while there was no referee to make a count, or even so much as issue a warning. If it was a chokehold that the Strongheart was applying, maybe there would have been a count coming. Anyway, Lou Thesz press. Baronio body slam. Snap suplex Strongheart style. Oh, we're going for an early chairs illusion. Ref, look at this. Clearly clubbed me with, or at the very least he's intending to. Is any of that nonsense? Unfortunate that Strongheart would resort to such cheating tactics in his third challenge for a heavyweight championship. After his glaringly blatant use of a steel chair, the referee, eventually recovering from the daze of having been inadvertently knocked down and bloodied, realized some time after the fact that Strongheart employed a foreign object and has awarded the match by disqualification and the title defense to the Baron Charles. The finish declaration in the middle there, nightmare, as in what a nightmare for Strongheart. Nothing has gone his way of late. Losing in tag, losing in singles, and now, up in smoke, the hope of a statement victory to launch his career on the upward trajectory. Where does he go from here? Strongheart, having fallen out of title consideration, in Jin Dynasty, on hiatus with no timetable for return. For all we know, the Trick Prince has gone back to China. Will Strongheart return to Japan? In any case, the Baron requires a new contender to challenge for his title. Still, DFW heavyweight champion, the Baron Charles. Speaking of upward trajectory, has anyone been on more of an upswing lately than this man, Blue Hair, who's been winning in tag action, who's been winning in singles action, and now poised to attempt to win the biggest prize in this promotion, Canada's Heavyweight Championship. But there is the man. You could almost leave it at that. No qualification necessary. Big Titan, long time, Canada's heavyweight champion. Can Blue Hair carry this momentum all the way? Or does it stop here? Big Titan, overpowering, reverses Blue Hair's attempt at a vertical suplex. We've seen guys try that before, try to outpower Big Titan. Has that worked? Not so sure that it has. And the Titan's been going to work since then. Stomp to the gut. Body slam across. Lit Cola. Main sponsor logo. There's another one. Just, is that the third time we've seen this now? Just ragdolling the challenger so far. Oh, double arm suplex. But Blue Hair finding a counter there. Backdropped his way out of it. And not a moment too soon. Because momentum has been going the champion's way. Drop kick to the back of the head. So that's the third either reversal or counter that we've seen. It is again, fourth time that someone has attempted a move only to have it overpowered. That's 3 out of 4 of those were Big Titan refusing to be manhandled. Refusing to be tossed around. Again, this has been the theme of the match. Reversals, counters. Now we're into the challenger corner. Clubbing blow to knock Blue Hair down. Now we'll go across to the champion's corner. Blue Hair eating his share of turnbuckles. Now beaten down. I don't mind the attempt by Blue Hair. He probably has some martial arts background, probably. But the power, Big Titan, overwhelming. Blue Hair tosses the champion out of the ring. Maybe, just if nothing else, to try to break the momentum up, because it seems like Big Titan has mostly had things the way he wants so far. But he takes his turn going into the turnbuckle. Body slams his way out of trouble, though. Eats a shot to the gut. They circle. Body slam this time results in out of the ring. The champion is not so polite as the challenger was earlier. The champ goes out in pursuit. Blue Hair eats the apron just now with the Irish whip, but he comes back. Dragon screw leg whip, another reversal. This time, oh, he is smashed into the announcer's table. Nice and sturdy, though. The table holds despite what you normally see in wrestling. We make better tables here in the CWP. Canada Wrestling Promotions announcer tables hold together. That was pretty fun. Leg drop to the back of the head. Irish whip into the spear. Blue Hair thwarted an Irish whip earlier on, but he ate the spear that time. 2.9. The ref might have hurt his shoulder there. Maybe he's still not recovered from the fall he took earlier in the opening match. Might have hurt his shoulder there. You saw him sort of adjusting himself. The double arm suplex finally landed by Big Titan. He's been waiting for that. He's been, what is that, third time's the charm. He's been waiting for that move. Finally hits it. Yet another counter. This time it's Blue Hair sailing out of the ring. Big Titan in pursuit. Scrapes the challenger off the floor, who's face down. Double arm suplex, just battering him. He's going for a weapon. He's going for a weapon. He went for a steel chair, which cost, oh, the Titan death drop, however, onto that steel chair. We saw Strongheart employ a steel chair earlier, and it cost him his attempt at a title. Big Titan could afford to be disqualified and not lose his. 2.9 off the super bomb. Straight up punch. Yeah, Big Titan signaling to the crowd saying, are you at all surprised? This is what I do. I win. We've seen it over and over in recent times. I mean, is Big Titan already saying, who's next? Who's the next challenger? This guy's not getting it done, not so far. Dragon Screw Leg Whip, though. Blue Hair hanging in there as we approach 10 minutes. He looks like he will survive to the 10-minute mark. Brain Buster, which perhaps against the champ is an achievement, given that we've seen 2.9s already. The fact that he's still in there. And he's putting some moves together. He's putting up a fight. It's going to take more than fight. This Big Titan appeals to his native Canadian crowd to get behind the finish. But hey, speaking of finish, this is a finishing hold for Blue Hair, who's fighting like a Wolverine out there, hanging in there. No quitting this kid. Vertical suplex. We go out of the ring again. This time, though, Big Titan doesn't have quite as much momentum to go out after him. But he goes out anyway, brings in a steel chair, doesn't employ it, realizes. Maybe he realizes don't need the disqualification win. But you never know. The more the match goes on, if he fails to pick up the finish. Just leaves the door open for the challenger to seize this title. Both men heaving for breath. The test of striking there, charging up, drop kick to put a stop to that, to tie a bow on that exchange. But there's the exploder suplex. That's Big Titan's typical trademark finish. And that's good enough. I mean, credit Blue Hair. He battled back after looking like there was no hope. He made a match out of it. I mean, maybe he wasn't that close to actually stealing this title, but he made it interesting. I mean, you may have noticed I found myself being pretty convinced early on this is a squash. And then a couple of 2.9 counts there against the challenger, and he weathered the storm. He was resilient. He fought back. True warrior spirit. Hung in there to make it respectable. Into the teens for minutes, 90% match evaluation. Credit Blue Hair for keeping that from being a bit of a ho-hum, here we go again. No one seems to be able to give the champ a run for his money, but yeah, made it interesting. I appreciate it. But still, Canada's heavyweight champion, the King of Canada, Big Titan. Match 3. Number 1 contendership. The winner is ensured some manner of heavyweight championship match. Now, not necessarily against Big Titan, I realize. I mean, maybe the best way to go is the winner gets their choice of what champion to challenge. That would make a little more sense. Suppose you're the winner, but you're a little bit afraid of Big Titan. That would be understandable. Maybe you might decide the DFW's championship is considered the minor title, and maybe that'd be easier to win. I don't know. But here's a man who's never been heavyweight champion. He's not been around the promotion very long. Midnight Night, yeah. member of Team Satan. If he wins this match, he'll get a shot at somebody. Lands a big boot to start, trying right away to mess up some of those good looks. The wise man Ted Axel. As the battle of the pretty boys is underway, DDT. That might damage the face a little bit too. Wise man Ted Axel, however, has been $50,000 champion of 2 different stripes. He's won both heavyweight championships of this promotion. The Canadian and the dramatic fight wrestling. Body slam. It's a body slam in return. I thought he was going to spill out of the ring. So significant contest here with implications. Either Ted Axel will be going for 3rd time's the charm type of deal. You can hit the trifecta, if you will. 3 heavyweight championships if he can go on to successfully challenge Warren Watson, looking for his first. Another big boot to the face. So Ted Axel to stay in top consideration. Midnight Night to climb in to that consideration. So it's the established wrestler versus the would-be. Vertical suplex out of the ring.
2.
Combination striking. $50,000 combination, but he eats the vertical suplex in reply. Running shoulder. Attacking the foundations is the Midnight Night, something the $50,000 man has been known to do. Attacking limbs, certainly. Although I think Ted Axel's more been one to work the arm, as we've seen more than once in this match already. So attacking the limbs they have in common. East. DDT again. Boston Crab. Well, early to really suggest an advantage, but I think I've been slightly more impressed with the Midnight Night so far. And what a time to impress. As we see the Teddy Twister, as the wise man gets the upper hand again. Cartwheel into the reverse. Avalanche into the turnbuckle. Irish whip, another high kick into the Boston Crab. So we're seeing the Midnight Night apply certain game plans here. Certain moves he's gone back to a few times. I guess if it works the first time, he might try it again. Maybe he's decided. Maybe he's got a game plan. These things are maybe the wise man's vulnerable to certain things right now. Oh, now we're gonna see a Phoenix Plex. 2.9. The night that close to earning a shot at heavyweight championship gold somewhere in this promotion. Wise man working the shoulders into the turnbuckle. Drop. Toe hold. Who knows, if both these men impress well enough, maybe we'll do what we ended up doing with Blue Hair and Strongheart. Just maybe both guys will get a shot. It's just a matter of, like I said, either winner gets Big Titan for the Canada title, and the runner-up gets DFW. Oh, reversal on a counter there, I guess, more so on the powerbomb into a pinning combination. Impressive. Oh. So Fireman's Carry into the Diamond Cutter. Probably a shorter name for that. Shoulder drop cutter.
10 minutes gone.
Work on it. Yeah, so the winner either gets Big Titan or he gets his choice of titles to go after. Maybe the runner-up also will get whoever's not picked. The Phoenix Plex again. This time it's right in the middle of the ring. Across the Lit Cola main sponsor logo, another 2.9. The Midnight Knight, who has labored around in tag action up to this point. Looking to vault himself into the singles picture with authority. What was that? Third time's the charm on the Phoenix Plex. Winning, I'd say somewhat convincingly even. So, if you're the Midnight Knight, yeah. No 6-tag challenge for those titles? No problem. Moved over into the singles and made good on his opportunity. Wins #1 contender match. Will get a heavyweight championship title shot. Will the Wise Man as well? We shall have to see. I don't know. Cool. We have a new figure in the singles picture. You never get enough of those. But, you know, some guys, the tendency is for people to sometimes get a little bit enmeshed in the tag, and then it almost seems illogical to just randomly pluck them out and say, hey, guess what? You're getting a singles shot. So just the way the fortunes have gone has just sort of led Warren Watson to be here. Similar with Blue Hair. Warren Watson taking a similar path to Blue Hair to a title match. For a singles title match, his team kind of did some stuff on the side and he found himself, what happens with me? Well, in this case, he earns a title shot. Congratulations. The Midnight Knight. Match 4. For Dramatic Fight Wrestling's Tag Team Championship, which has been controlled for a while now by Bret Hart and his Canadian Sharpshooter Syndicate partner, the Canadian Sensation. Can Team Best Friend, Lionheart, KO, can they overturn the existing tag order in DFW? The Sensation takes the stage. The Hitman remains in his all black, at least for as long as this rivalry with Kevin Owens carries on. And it's been heated enough, as the previous challenge by Team Best Friend was a 98% match evaluation. The rematch. Fight. KO, a bit big to be bullied around there, thwarts the Irish Whip. That old man strength out of Bret Hart. He's probably had more tests of strength than KO has had birthdays. Or matches. I'm not even sure where I was going with that. I thought I had something cool to say. Not really. Anyway, arm drag takedown. Speaking of old school. I'll edit that out. That reference to the number of birthdays. Because that's not even a lot, right? Kevin Owens has only got 30 some odd years on him, right? Is he even 40? Anyway, back to that test of strength, which I've made a mockery of and a mess of. Don't worry, I will edit all that out, I promise. No way that's making it onto the internet. Mental note. Drop, toe hold, more old school. So, maybe the Hitman gets the better of his rival there, gets tagged in. Canadian sensation, but KO wisely flees the 2-on-1. Now, he tactically retreats, he didn't flee. He did the smart move in getting his tag partner in there. Lionheart will close in on the sensation in the challenger's turnbuckle, only to Irish whip him all the way over to the champion turnbuckle. Interesting strategy. Now Jericho finds himself deep in the champion's corner, but he body slams his way out of there. Crazy end-to-end action, corner to corner. Pillar to post. There's that uppercut palm strike, which I believe in running off the Irish whip, that was how the sensation got the finish previous episode over Lionheart. I believe that was the finish. You could go back and watch the episode if you missed that match, or if you want to relive it. Body slam into that torture grind. If you know the name of that move, for the love of God, write it in the comments. That thing where you trap the guy's arm and you elbow him in the side of the head. There's got to be a move for it, a name for it. Somewhere in the game, it's there. I just, it'd take me forever to search it out if I had to try to find it. Maybe I don't want to know the actual name because I like my name for it. I mean, at the end of the day, I am like unto God anyway when it comes to this promotion. If I want to name a move a certain thing, for all intents and purposes, that's what it's called. Assisted powerbomb. They took their time with that. Now we're back to the rivalry that started it all. This is the only real true beef we got going here, although the Hitman did face Lionheart. Landmine Deathmatch in December, the Christmas Bloodbath. Episode 36, if you haven't seen that. Or again, if you'd like to relive the horror, that barbed wire hellhole that we ran an event in. Back body drop, more old school. We don't see enough of that type of move nowadays. The back body drop, it's crowd pleasing. Guys are moving around. Someone gets flipped up in the air. It's a loud crash. It's fun. Why don't people do back body drops anymore? Frog splash flattens the Hitman. But we're thick into the ropes there. All four men in the ring. Another back body drop into a sensational sleeper hold. Early, perhaps, for the finish. It's only 7 minutes. I mean, there are no bears in the ring. Maybe if it was Terrible Ted. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. The sensation thought about flying, but maybe it's early for something truly sensational. He aborts and eats a DDT for his trouble. Body slam across the Lit Cola main sponsor logo, spinning heel. Bulldog. New Age Bulldog. Knee to the midsection. That's kind of old school too, guys doing that. Baseball slide off the Irish whip, I mean. We're still Irish here. Sensational backdrop. Eye rake. Maybe less effective against a guy with a mask, but Lionheart did discombobulate his man enough to get the tag. Assisted powerbomb. 2-on-1. Delayed Vertical suplex. So, Team Best Friend looking very good on the double team.
10 minutes gone.
As we hit the 10-minute mark, and this Sensation realizes if I'm getting beat on the double team, maybe I should tag out. KO, handling both members though. We saw back suplex, we saw inverted atomic drop, or reverse atomic drop, not inverted. One was upside down, I don't think. Get your terminology correct. Oh, we might have seen a vertical suplex out of the ring, but the crafty Bret Hart, agile enough to get out of it. Shin breaker. Again on the reverse atomic drop. Wow. Rolling backsplash off the top. Turnbuckle senton, perhaps you might call it. Oh no, not necessarily. Might not be the right name. Doesn't matter.
1, 2.
Sensation taking no chances on dropping the titles there. He came in to make the save. Wasn't necessary, as it turns out. DDT. And he'll come right back in the ring again after exiting. Another 2 count. Maybe this time only because of the save. Dragon screw leg whip. Tag out, maybe get a double team going, but Jericho thwarts it. The heart of a lion does he have. Body slam into the champion's corner. The Hitman settles it down enough to give the Sensation a fair chance. Now he's falling all the way over to the challenger corner. Oh. Straight up punch to the face. Simple but effective. Oh, was that the pop-up powerbomb? Powerbomb off the Irish whip by KO. I wonder if he does that in modern wrestling. Used to. Oh, KO is going. He's going for. Oh, wow. Looked like he was going to make some sort of dive on the outside there. Thwarted perhaps by the Hitman. Just the 1 count. We get all 4 competitors in the ring again. Double vertical suplex across the Lit Cola main sponsor logo. Heart attack style clothesline. As the Canadian makes the homage to his fellow Canadian. Going back to Bret Hart's old tag days. Oh, again we almost saw someone start up a move for attacking someone on the outside. But I guess the nature of tag action is you're more likely to have something like that interrupted. More moving parts with 4 men in the ring. There, I guess what I meant, in case it's at all confusing, I meant while the opponent was on the floor, someone was going to either slingshot over the top or dive out from the ring to the outside. Would have been cool. Anyway, delayed brainbuster that time. Northern Lights suplex fittingly. Perform a northern move in the Great White North of Canada. Side Russian leg sweep. Russia is also northern. Stepping palm strike. This was Curtin's last time Team Best Friend challenged. It was that exact combination. Oh, half Nelson suplex. Sensational. Superfly. And Alan Hawkins will bring the action all the way back to the champion's side of the ring, where he will sensationally superfly again. Victory rolls it up. But looked like the Hitman was short to get in there to make the prevention. The save was still made. And we have the Lion Tamer. The Hitman too busy recovering to break that up. Could have seen a submission there. Sensation trapped in that submission hold for the duration. Assisted. Vertical suplex out of the ring. The Hitman is going after Jericho. Starts with the European uppercut as we have on the floor brawling and another fight still going on in the ring. KO off the turnbuckle with the frog splash. Fight still going on. Well, we end the fighting at about the 10-second mark. 10 count. Outside the ring. If you're the Hitman, I think you probably would have wanted to have extended the out of the ring brawling, because double count out would have favored, or any kind of count out would have favored the champions. Would have retained the title. KO appealing to the Canadian crowd. Don't know how well that would work, because I think Bret Hart is known for being more of a Canadian hero per se. I think in that more of his career had the emphasis on I am Canadian. And that being the gimmick sometimes. Seen her call at one point some latter day version of the Hart Foundation. They were basically just carrying around the Canadian flag and just waving it around. That was like the point. And that's what made them heels in the American promotion. Oh, we're going to see the sharpshooter now. The sharpshooter applied by the Sensation. The sensational sharpshooter. KO hangs in there, though. Striking successful there by the Sensation. Oh. Some sort of side slam on the Sensation. Now he's got to deal with 2-on-1, does Mr. Hawkins. He was handling himself well enough there for a while, but then he eats the DDT. Running shoulder. I knew enough to pipe down because I figured Jericho might say something. I still probably talked over him. I'm sorry. I mean, I drowned it out in my own head. Maybe it'll come through on the broadcast, though, despite. Anyway. Wild action, though. This is pretty much why we ran this rematch again, because it was a crazy affair last time. Why not go again? See if they can duplicate it. Another memorable match, and I think they've done that. 25 minutes. Sidewalk backbreaker, but okay, lucky for KO, that was not the legal combination. Surprise roll up there, the Sensation looking to just swipe this match out from under the nose of the challengers. Frog splash across the back. So I believe that's running senton. I like to call it backsplash. That just sounds better. At least that it's a description that you can imagine. What does that mean? Senton. That just sounds like just some random Far Eastern word that to the average English person the name probably means very little. Wow. The Sensation taking advantage of Lionheart's vulnerability, launch drop kick, sending his opponent just careening all the way into the turnbuckle. The champion's turnbuckle. Surprise roll up.
1, 2, 3.
And this time Bret Hart was able to prevent the breakup. And history repeats, the Sensation gets the decision against Lionheart. Oh man, look at that. A 100% match evaluation. I was just about to say, we basically saw the same result twice in a row. Long match, but ended with the Canadian Sensation getting the pinfall victory over Lionheart Chris Jericho and wondering if we're going to see the same thing, the same result. Do we need to run a third match? That was my original thought. But now that we see 100% match evaluation, I almost feel like, doesn't that kind of demand that we do this again? Because, at the end of the day, what a match is supposed to do is put on a wild, entertaining affair that people are going to enjoy. I mean, if the match itself isn't going to be great, then the outcome is almost secondary. Like, if it was a boring match, would you care as much about the decision? So, yeah, well, I mean, I guess if everyone's healthy, we've had 98% in their first tag match last event, 100% the second time. We can't really go up from there from 100 unless we can have 100% and a shocking finish where someone gets maybe hurt or something. So, I don't know. I'm talking myself into it. In all likelihood, we got to do this a third time. Just because the first two matches have been so invigorating and successful as spectacles, as events, if you will. So. But in the meantime, regardless, or irregardless, if you subscribe to that variation, still, Dramatic Fight Wrestling, Tag Team Champions, Sharpshooter Syndicate, Canadian Edition. Match 5. Junior Tag Team Championship. The challengers, Team Dark. Type B. Mexico Miguel. Searching for their first tenure as Junior Tag Team Champions. And both in need of a pick-me-up, perhaps. You've got Type B. Somewhat recently, well, the previous singles champion was lost in a sea of blood at the hands of the irredeemable Shota coming down to the ring first. Mexico Miguel, as we talked about, winless in year 3.
Fight.
Having a devil of a time getting back on track. And now he'll face Christian. Accomplishes the vertical suplex there. But now, attacking the eyes in return. The slightly bigger Christian wins the test of strength, but he eats an eye poke in retaliation. Finally, Miguel gets the upper hand. What was that? Third time's the charm. Hockey mask. Not hockey mask. I'm thinking of Jason the Terrible. Mask headbutt. Team up. Vertical suplex out of the ring. Jason the Terrible, of course, will be up next. The fire breath. Uncorked by Shota. Does not hit, but he is hit by double drop kick. So, if you're type B, you're probably hoping someday to get back in the ring with Shota, one-on-one, to try to reclaim that junior championship that the Irredeemable has. But for the time being, as long as all 4 juniors are healthy, we're just going to run the junior tag. As I mentioned earlier, just to try to catch that up in the history, in the title history. Get some more activity in there. Ran the junior single for a long time. Double team. The numbers game. Getting the better of Shota for the time being. Surprise roll-up. These two were longtime rivals for that junior championship. Before that, man, Christian, who enters the ring, entered the fray. Changed the dynamic. Martial arts striking by the irredeemable. And this was the man that Christian lost his most recent singles championship to. So there's still some singles matches to be had. Some rematches. Guys who maybe have unfinished business. Despite there being only 4 guys in the junior division. I think it's still reasonably spicy. I like all 4 guys. They're from 4 different countries. It's not bad. And now all 4 guys in the ring again to get some gang action going, some brawling. Eye poke there by Mexico Miguel. I think that's Dragon Sleeper. Not sure. I've seen something similar to that called Dragon Sleeper. Boot to the back. Doesn't seem very polite or sportsmanlike. Oof. A nasty looking hold. My neck is hurting just looking at that. And now we get that scythe out. I know, the scythe is probably the least appropriate thing to call that, but that's what I most enjoy calling it. And we have blood. We also have a body slam out of the ring. Mexico Miguel undaunted by his bloodied chest. Trying to get the crowd into it. On his side, not likely. As we see the fire breath again, for this is a Canadian crowd, and the one Canadian in this match is part of the other team, the Champions team. And there he is. Combination. Boxing body blows. Pull down into the rear choke. Boot to the balls. Let's just call it what it is. You saw it. Football charge. By Big Man Complex. Doesn't mind throwing what weight he has around. Thinks he's bigger than he is. But he's effective. These clotheslines, I mean, he's got muscle to him, no doubt about that. Even if he's not the tallest or overall largest guy, he's a strong guy. All 4 men in the ring. We have an ankle lock and a DDT as the champions go to work. And Miguel's head is being grinded into the mat. Blood seeping out. We're still making it out even though it's a red banner because the lit lettering is in white. Or at least the L. It's now a red L. Even if only briefly. Eye poke. All 4 men. Crazy action going on. Hard to follow. Arm twisting. Oh. Foreign object, which if you're Miguel, Maybe you're going to do anything you can nowadays to try to get some sort of victory. 2.9. The Mexican was that close to breaking his miserable streak of losses. Goes back longer than I think it's polite to mention. Surprise roll up 2.9. He's that close again to getting the monkey off his back. Scything away. Tell you what, I won't call it a scythe anymore because it's really not. But I will refer to it as scything. As like the verb or whatever. Was that a moonsault just now while I was yapping away? Wow. Wild action. Haymaker. Scything. With whatever weapon that is. Double. Drop kick. Team Dark. Employing some much needed teamwork. Going down low. Much needed teamwork as Team Dark has yet to record a victory against Team Gold and Black. The champions. Backslide. Miguel is in there to make the save, however, and then he's eating some biting. Hopefully that mask is going to protect him. His partner, Type B, tries to protect him as well by breaking that up. Powering up with the muscle man pose. Big man complex, but he eats the DDT. Perhaps putting a halt to that surge. Now Type B fighting two guys at once. Managed to escape that trouble. He's handling them one at a time. Rips him with a clothesline. Big man complex handling both champions by himself. Heads into Mexico. Miguel eats a giant haymaker though. Ankle lock. Miguel doesn't stand around and wait for that to continue. Brutality being dished out by the Irredeemable. Mounted strikes to the back of the head. Just again, jeez. Can we get a disqualification maybe? Holy jeez. Impaler. DDT. Oh. Unprettier by Christian. Miguel desperation takedown, lying face down with blood just seeping into the mat. Moonsault across the back of the fallen champion. Comes up again. Boy, he's just determined to just bleed Mexico Miguel to death, it seems. Who's that running? Splash. 2 count only, though. Christian in there to make the save wasn't necessary. Double dropkick by Gold and Black. Past the 20-minute mark here. Oh boy. Straight up punch. Heart attack. Clothesline. Ooh. Got that backdrop slam. Drop kick off the Irish whip. So we got all 4 men in the ring again. Oof. Some confusion there with all four men. Awkward collision. DDT. Blood covering the mat around the middle there. More bloodletting carried out. More of these mounted strikes to the back of the head. At what point does the referee say enough is enough? That's a foul. Wild action with all four men. Oof. Just grinding that blood into the mat. Ugh. It's disturbing. Surprised we didn't see a submission there because Miguel is really getting battered and bloodied. This has kind of been awful, actually, what's happened to him. I don't know what's been worse, the blood loss or the blunt trauma from all these blows to the back of the head. Desperation kick just to stay. I don't want to say stay alive, but maybe that is the right term because between the blood loss and the head, the blows to the head, maybe his life is not exactly secure here. Jaw breaker. Ooh, that's a good way to save. Clubbing blows. It's Team Dark trying to work together here. Backbreaker into the slam. And then the back cracker. From backbreaker to back cracker. Clubbing blows. Well, big man complex trying to get on a run here. Put a series of moves together. So, over the head, behind the back, cutter. Suplex cutter, how about? Suplex cutter. Because he brought him over behind him and then went into the diamond cutter from there. Suplex cutter. $27 by the way. Oof. Miguel flailing away with those kicks, maybe in a blood-soaked, blood-crazed frenzy. Heaving for breath there. Looks like Owen Miller might have tried to make the tag there, but Miguel was just needing some recovery time. He's gone through a lot. DDT in the ring, cartwheeling. Shota having a good time, lands, combination striking into the ankle lock. And yeah, enough is enough maybe. Kind of glad it's over. I just feel like Miguel has taken a severe punishment. Blood is seeping into the mat. He's been just bleeding all over the place, been battered all over the place. I'm a little concerned about his health. Man, I've got an uneasy feeling about Miguel, Mexico Miguel right now. He's been losing a lot, and he just didn't look good there with all the punishment he took. It just looked really nasty, and man should not have to go through that. I mean, brilliant match evaluation. Maybe that's from the spectacle of look how badly one man can get abused. I mean, it's, you know, from the novelty, from just how impactful all that was, how much of a story that is to tell. It wasn't just any old random match. This happened to this guy, and it was really kind of disturbing to watch. So 98% from that perspective, but gonna have to do some thinking about Mexico Miguel and his health, his whether he should be in this organization anymore. I got to think about it, right? After what, year 3 winless, year 4 has not started out well. So I mean, maybe it's time to get back to some of these singles matchups I've been talking about. Perhaps we need to start having the singles title challenge in lieu of this while we reconsider where Miguel is at. Still, and the only ever so far, Canada's Junior Tag Team Champions, Team Golden Black. Match 6 for Canada's Tag Team Championship. Probably be the final match of the show. As discussed earlier, the main event after this will be but a formality. So, Team Satan, late in year 1, lost this title to Team Terrible. And will again have to face this challenge to hold on to Canada's Tag Team Championship. The General, the Foot Soldier, Team Satan, the champions. The Wrestling Bear will start things off for the challengers, goes for the Chicago Bears football charge. Evaded by the General, but not that nerve pinch, that Vulcan neck pinch. Because you see, Terrible Ted has been watching a lot of Star Trek lately, particularly the original series with Mr. Spock. He figures, hey, why don't I add that to my repertoire, the Vulcan neck pinch. Anyway, Vulcan neck pinch didn't work. Tried for another submission there. It's too early, Terrible Ted. I know you're super strong, but wear the guy down a bit first. Neck crank, he's not listening. He's just trying to set records. It's not enough for the Bear to just to beat people's asses, which he's done repeatedly. He wants to do something special. Anyway, maybe on the verge of doing something special here is the General. He's got the upper hand right now. Eats the Bear Mare, however. The Bear Snapmare into the champion's corner. Yes, you can say that. For right now, at least with Team Satan occupying it. But Team Terrible is here to change the status. Backslide on the Bear. Why not give it a try? I mean, if you happen to catch him and escape here with the title still around your waist. Jason the Terrible. In there for the first time, smashing the Foot Soldier around, but the tables have been turned. Hip toss, headlock, takeover. Will Stewart controlling the champion right now. Flying body press. That's a big body press. Look at this guy. The Foot Soldier is jacked up the wazoo. But not so jacked as to be immune to a vertical suplex. Jason sent into the turnbuckle, however, into the challenger's turnbuckle. Seems so weird. As he goes to work with those eye rakes, that Team Satan should be in the challenger's corner. Not usually the way. Test of striking ultimately won by hockey mask wearing Jason the Terrible. Understandably, he did have armor on. All 4 men in the ring right now. Well, all 4 males. Sorry. That is an actual bear you're looking at. It's 3 men and a bear. The bear hug. We're in the ropes, however. Bear Mare brings the General down to the mat. Dragging him to a suitable place of execution, perhaps, but no. Countered. Armbar from the underside. Good technical wrestling by the General. That guillotine choke, though, thankfully for the General, he didn't have to eat that for long in the ropes. All that crushing weight coming down on the larynx. Is that the right term? So perhaps out of desperation, perhaps just because the general has faced the bear enough times now. Maybe he's figured, I've got some ideas here as to how to counter some of this devastating submission game. Ball punch, that might just counter whatever the bear's trying to do. Bash him in the bear balls. Now the bear in the championship corner, which he's so used to. The bear knows his way around the red corner. And he's doing just fine. As he seeks to smother Stewart. Leg trip takeover. We're going into that guillotine choke from the mounted position. 8 minutes in. Early, but not for the bear. We got the submission there. I don't want to say surprising no one. It's a bit early. I'm not sure if the Will Stewart has taken a lot of punishment yet. Anyway, the numbers game just totally catching up to him here, 2 against 1. Now he's in the turnbuckle to get his eyes dragged across the ropes there. Headbutt down low. Just all the dirty, underhanded tactics being pulled out by Jason. Allows his man to escape now and has to face both at once. Both members of Team Satan going to work with the drop kicks. Irish whip. Heavy blow landed by Jason. Clotheslines the dazed. Oh, and there's that headbutt down low again. And now, countering what might have been a pile driver into an arm trap face lock. 10.5 minutes, so it seems weird to say good on the champs for lasting this long, but Satan's general hits the clothesline and he goes low. Some of the turnabout. Finally, the general pulling out some of his dirty tricks to try to equalize. Oh, almost the pile driver. But Terrible Ted was lurking nearby to break it up. Sidewalk slam. He will seek to cinch in a submission, but again, Satan's general evading it for now at least. He's still got enough wherewithal about him right now to stymie the bear submission attacks as we reach that sort of range where could end at any time, as we've seen over and over. Playing with his food now as the bear tries to get it too perfectly there, setting up the Chicago Bears football charge, but now he's got to deal with the foot soldier instead. All of that foolishness. Even the mighty Will Stewart has trouble vertical suplexing a bear. This Terrible Ted was in the midst of the reversal. Get a look at all the sponsors there. Zan Tourism along the side. And the Towel Maker. The red one over there. So, some rolling around on the mat. Stewart escapes. Oh, but can he escape the guillotine choke? Standing guillotine choke. He cannot escape. Cannot withstand the pressure. Too severe. He's probably felt it before with past run-ins. Team Satan has never beaten Team Terrible. Team Satan has never beaten Team Terrible. I didn't want to mention that early because I didn't want to take the wind out of the match before we even saw it. But I mean, I use the expression, to the shock of no one, perhaps. I mean, when I saw that it was 10.5 minutes in, I was saying good on Team Satan for lasting this long. Seems strange to say that about champions. Good for you, you lasted 10 minutes. But didn't we always know that Terrible would be the favorites in just about any tag team scenario you can think of? Just seems like they always seem to prevail, even if it's not at first, in the end. This team proves too much to overcome. Whether it's in a subsequent match The winner the match or the rematch, you can just about guarantee when it comes to Team Terrible. Feel a little bit bad for Team Satan. This was their chance to demonstrate that they can persist at the top level of tag. This is the second time they've been there. They've been knocked back off the mountain immediately by this seemingly, at times, unbeatable Team Terrible. And Canada reclaims top tag gold. The new, once again, yet again, Canada's tag team champions. Team Terrible. And if that's the end of the show, could very well be a good enough note to leave it on, if you ask me. As the most dominant tag team in this promotion's history, picks up another win, another title.